Okay, welcome to the Great Area Show. And I think for the third time or fourth time today, I have Dr. Marambire. Can you still maintain the doctorate?
No, ndakabviswa saka ke I think honestly, you know what, Mr. Alec.
Yeah.
Inini ndaifarira type yekuti mufudzi wemombe, because for me ine a strong meaning. Saka doctor ndinoti vava kutondinzvengesa pavaida kundiita doctor, saka ndakazodza kuti hanzi chikumura inyembeo doctor.
But we can just maintain it as a nickname, right?
Yeah, as a nickname, I think it's okay. You know what happened, Alec? The same time, Parabuda Nyadzia. Landini another university, is it Arab? They'd offered me another doctorate. I am not interested.
Oh, today is to create another dark up university and stuff.
Plus, I don't have any benefit in a title with the doctor.
Okay, interesting. I see. But I want to talk about this year, 2025, because I noticed you ended 2024 on a high note, and stuff. How has been 25 for you?
2025 is a bit tricky. It's like it quite. I would say in auto, autopilot. Autopilot. Because things are such an shape. It's because of continuous rain. It has been raining a lot in Zimbabwe. I think for the month of January and February, and partly March, it has been raining so much.
Okay, but how is it in the construction sector? Because I've seen you Mchingoti send a MCV, it means that there is business booming that side. Yeah?
Geneta construction ukaona project 20 no manya implement 20 project yaishipera then muno dismiss abantu. Saka of recent we have got some projects that we are doing, and we are still looking for builders, we are still looking for assistants, we are looking for my aluminium fitters and my tilers, my floor tile installers. Saka yeah, tukumbotraya kumanya chingorochi job che 2 minutes.
Okay, quite interesting. So nanokanda ma CV kubi.
No, it's we have got an HR office where people should submit their CVs, and then due diligence, that is my interviews and all that. So it's CV. Things are done so professionally. We discourage nepotism. We discourage chizivano.
Okay, quite interesting. Then on the other side of people that are looking forward to investing in construction this year, either or as a business, what would you be your advice?
In Zimbabwe, construction it's at boom. It is at its peak. It's high because if you look in Harare, there's a lot of infrastructure that is coming up, commercial, residential, my garden flats, my apartments, and even in small towns, I think than use their money on other things.
Okay, so you would advise people that can manage the young people right now to invest in properties like that?
Yeah, I think it's the high time people should invest in property. Either build and rent, build and sell, or develop their own properties where they can stay. Because look, there's a lot of modern structures and modern plans that and it's time for people to build.
Okay, and when you go, do you have wasn't reflexibles, no accommodate always massive servants? Kana tikunongondiwa mbinga dzinongoya nematenti kuti vona dzimba dzamuruvakira namadam boss nana chichi ko isusu ruzhinji So kwana.
I think we displayed that we can build any type of house. Remember, in Nyathi, it's a typical rural house, and we are working with the teachers, we are working with police officers. We accommodate almost. In fact, let me say, this year we have started another project which is targeting low to medium income earners. Saka tisikamba neye kuti tinotora vese vane mari dzavo vakaita semimi mbinga dzakaita semimi and then civil servants. So we are a construction really open to do a project for everyone.
To everyone. Well, that's nice then. Then you mentioned something about the Nyathi family. I think most people are eager to hear because Tarango Muka one day Jaira was paragraph and you got food photos and then Tarango when they remove I got three food photos, I went and get food for you. And I've decided to leave and part ways in harmony. Though I think those behind the curtains back in the harmony. Why did you left?
You know, soon after the wedding, let me say during the time of the wedding, December, there was a lot of pressure in terms of the things that needed to be done on the brand. Then after that, January, February, March, the pressure keep on mounting because we managing that brand was not only a social media thing. There's a lot that has been happening behind the scene. A lot. Like if they are to travel, would make sure that means of transport, accommodation. There's a lot of things. Kana vachito flyaways to organize my plane tickets, vachava pika, vachava dropper. So it was the whole complete task. Yataita from the beginning to the end. And when it comes now to advertisement, do you know take also try an hour or days negotiating with people like advertise because people they are a bit particular, and we have some incidents where we would advertise and then it big fires again on hit not advertise as usual. So honestly, when it comes to January, February, March, it was a bit tensing. I was also working on our new projects in Kubasa. I was busy with importing, so time really was not on my side. I tried to push to that month of March. And then, in fact, we discussed this in February with a couple. Was it February or end of January? That, guys, I think at some point of time, I will need to focus at work. And they were saying, I know it's okay, Baba. You have pushed us, and we are so grateful. So I think in March, what happened, I spoke to the father. Actually, Baba ndo vakatozondifonera because ndakatanga kutaura namama vacho. Ndikataura nagogo vacho, like gogo vaive vakandipa mbudzi. Ndikataura nabamukuru vacho vari kuSouth Africa kuti ndichitira nguvaonesa kuti so far what we have achieved, nemaplans atatinawo, nekwatinoda kuenda, nekwatinoda kuti brand ringe riri. This is what we've done, and it was more like a handover, takeover process.
Okay, but I want to ask, like, taking this role last year, had you anticipated these things because you have already been in construction for a very long time and you have had busy schedules, or you took it as an emotional decision without anticipating, without putting into consideration these things? Because I'm sure they were not a surprise, definitely.
I would not say emotional. Because, the way how this happened, honestly, it was not something planned. I promised to build these guys a house. They come to Zimbabwe. In fact, before they came to communicate, I think you remember when South Africa we met.
Yeah.
I'm among the very few people who told these guys to another hotel. In fact, maybe I'm the first. Because I remember they did a post right for the first time to Akura Motel. And so from there we developed this a natural bond. I proceeded to build their house, and Pavaka we actually had a groundbreaking paper. A lot of things happened, and people were asked me to say, why can't you manage them? Why can't you manage them? And we also spoke with the parents. Ivo pachavo vanga vagara vasingadi manage from day one. Those guys vanga vasiri kuda. So when I said I'm available because of the trust that we had brought up, Nima Chandra Tangataita, it was very easy, both to the wife and the husband. But no, it's okay, managers. So I never knew could this role was going to come with a lot of work, a lot of commitment. Even I ended up circulating in so many platforms on social media. And in a way, zvakarerusa ndakabva ndangozoitawo semunhu wemastreets zviya zvekutongoti handouno wedu content creator, even though I tried by all means to refrain from that. So I'd say it was
okay, but taking that point because for sure another content creator, could that be a trigger also to kind of like you step back to say, I think I'm not now seeing it more as a business person, but as a social media manager?
Yeah, there is an element to that. But remember, this started in October when I took over. I think particularly in November. My character ichitukwa nekutaurwa zvakangosiyana-siyana. Vamwe vaingotaura zvavasingazivi kuti munhu angogona pa social media obva aita pfungwa dzake obva atanga kutoataka. So I think in November, December, when this happened at first, I didn't mind much. I will not leave these guys for the reason. So that I would not say it contributed much. But so contribute no, let me leave. Focus on business. My commitments. Construction demands my attention. I also participate in site visits in quality check on my sites. So, like as we begin January, Tema Prisa Rukabum, Harare, Mutare, Aguero, Derengwa, Shavani, Mondoro, Kwachi Water, Karo. So my projects is at some point of time I have to make a point of industry cap. So travel. And then Mr. Alec varoda kuadvertisa neNyathi family. Vobata vana Nyathi, vanenge tinoenda kuna manager, and then I have to sometimes driving and try to communicate. Ndinosvika pamwe kuhotel ndaneta ndakutanga ndamboti ndowana ma-daily reports ekupasi. Then ndizopinda mune zvaNyathi. And then my clients anenge achida kuadvertisa. It took a long time negotiating and talking.
Okay.
Do you know that I end up a call for almost an hour to discuss? Yeah.
Okay. So now I'm interested in you were dedicating your time and your effort to this. Do you have a salary in this role, or what is the benefit? What is the takeaway?
No, it was a voluntary position because when I came in, I didn't came for money, and considering Marianga Chitwa Nivana. I would want a share from that money. So the first thing as I'm managing you guys, I don't want to know, I don't care, I'm not interested for for monetization or whatever. However, there's a guy who attended a pump chat to you. They were coordinator some of the works. Advertise we draft contract, EO mitigate. Sakatagata we run out Mariema adverts cheti. Do you have about 20%? 20% they end up in face whatever they pump chat to you.
Oh, okay.
But in as a person, I didn't take even. When they came to show me the vehicle in Joburg Paper, I sponsored their trip. I paid all the activities that we did. I paid all the food. Even after they've announced at 25,000 a month, because something that people might not know is the level of my organization. We are running quite a huge organization that is way beyond to be compared to 25,000. Maybe in a week we can use that figure for fuel only to fuel our fleet. So I personally, the budget that I spend in terms of my working capital yedu kungorana business chete. It's very massive. So kuti ndizofungawo kuti kuita 25,000 and no, it's not part of what I could have considered kuti ndibhadhara. And ndichitarira those guys pandiri vana, they are children, and I never wanted to be paid for the role that I was playing.
For the role. Okay, and then some were saying that no, maka jambira ship makana kapana wanogona train them. So if I get on them, then no later publicity staranguro zikamwa and stuff. Then later on Canada zikamwa my streets those step up back. What is your response to that?
I don't have any reason yaku zikamwa my streets because I'm not a content creator. What do I benefit? So honestly, ini chandakatongozodzidza ndeti vanhu vanotaura zvavanoda because
they always say
Alec vanhu vanetsa kumanager people vanhu vanongori mufungirawo because iwo kati A unoona kuti A ive na B na Z na X. Saka I learned a lot in the process, man. I really learned a lot, and I never took the guys to use them for my advantage. Honestly, what we benefited is publicity from our company when we built them a house. I would not want to lie. We benefited a lot. Our company becomes popular. Our company was now recognized or noticed in a number of areas. But now to come to myself as a person, then what do I get?
Mama streets. Like I think I don't know. That's what they say. I'm Mama street.
I don't think so because look, it's only that I've got platforms where I desire to be known. If you can go back, kuna 2013, 2014, the first time ndakapia pa ZTV nini, ndakayamwa Harare several times, but ndakashaya time ikinda ku studio. They had to follow me kumberengwa. First time ndakapia pa TV, vakatonditeera kumberengwa. So kudaenda ngandiri munhu aida kurira kana aida zvekuzikamwa muma streets. Vaingondifonera kamwe, then the next thing do you know I turned down my interviews akawanda. I turned down my not I would not say I turned down ndinoshaya mukana wekuenda pa podcast nema platforms akawanda. Why? If I'm to go there, I would rather go and teach and leave a message that can impact someone's life. Zvinhu zvandinonyora pa social media ndakatoona kuti vanhu vanoita mix up, havasati vatombobata what I'm trying to do. I'm there to give hope and encourage. Why? Because I believe my life is a living testimony. Where I came from, where I am right now. Zvakufanana kana vanhu vanoenda kuchechi vanozviziva kuti kana Mwari akukomborera unofanira kupa testimony so that you can you can inspire others and motivate others through your true living testimony.
Okay, so you are not a social show-off person. You are a social transformative person.
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, but since there are rumors to clarify also, I'm just going to go for social media drama papa because I think 3 days ago there is a message. I will try to read the message of a guy. I think some people were running a narrative here because they say that it has come to light that the Nyathis purchased their car on credit. They allegedly paid 50,000 in cash and took out a credit of 40,000, which was supposed to be paid, to be repaid this month, but the current situation is not allowing them to do so. Their manager left after discovering this dilemma. After Monoti, which was taken when actually you were the manager as well. So what they're actually saying is they're accusing you of mismanaging the brand and leaving them in debt and then walking away when things got messy.
I built
Definitely.
them
I
a
want to
house.
come
I built them a house worth more than 10,000, right? The following month in the Gavette some chart, which was more than 9,000. I'm referring to the month that I spent, right? Then vafana vozotenga mota saka pamota ndopondositanga kuita mismanagement. I would like dai vanhu vedu dai vanhu vaimbotraya kavaida kuisa analysis yakadaro dai vaimbotraya kuita reverse back would say to analyze where are these guys coming from and where are they going, because the couple had more to benefit from what I was offering them. I benefited in a way in terms of publicity, business radio, and which is good. I would not want to say apana chandaka benefit, but the person who was benefiting more is the couple. They get the house, they got the wedding, they got to travel without worrying. On several occasions, I've been using my money to make sure that the couple is safe and comfortable. Because as a brand, we have got a certain narrative that we're pursuing. I think you saw immediately when I took over, there's a lot of restriction that we put on the brand so that at least it can grow. So the issue of the car, I was 100% against the purchase of a car. Not cash. Because when those guys got their money, they had money which was more than $500,000 in the account. And I was saying, guys, let us buy a house in Central.
R500,000 or?
Yeah, rands.
Okay.
So I was saying, guys, let us buy a house in Central, or otherwise start a business here in Zimbabwe, because we've already registered the company. The reason why we registered the company, I wanted to push that brand commercially. So now, Gilbert, I doubt amount. And they called me 21 November, February. Zvikanzi baba isusu takunotenga mota tati tikuudzei, not tiri kukumbira kwatoda advice, tati tikuudzei kuti takunotenga mota. But even in such circumstances, I then stood up and said, no, guys, you can't buy a car now. So later, as we were discussing, I found out that no, seriously, the guy needs to buy a car. Let me divert now, mind you, iwe zvotoita pane ma-auction here andiri kudhila nawo. Nova ndamusendera masymbols emanissan, even imwe yanga ichitori Fortuner, imwe yaiva Ford, this latest model yeFord dzakanga dziri below 150,000. Ndikati at least wotenga. And the other reason yandairambira kuti atenge mota ndakati, if you bear a car usatotora license, you are going to be tempted to drive it, and then wobva wasungwa iwewe nepopularity yako ukasungirwa driver's license, it's bad news on the brand.
Yeah.
So takaita conversation to an extent kuti another day I called him ana baba munini wake. Musi wacho vaida kutenga mota musi wa24 February. Ndikati no guys, please I beg, ndiri kukumbira musatenga mota, imbonirai. Ndobva ndaita a long conversation nababa munini vake vanga navo, ndobva azopiwa zvefoni, ndikati guys musatenga mota. Saka zvandaita inini the couple ndaiva advise. Kana ndava advisor, at the end of the day vaizotora ma-decisions avo. Then kana vatora ma-decisions avo, ini chandangozoita kusupporta ma-decisions avo, because I cannot keep on fighting, it's their life. So musi wakatengwa mota, I wrote a message to Gilbert. Vakati no, ndatenga mota. Ndikati this is the biggest mistake of your life. Mashoko angu uchazoafunga rimwe remazuva. Ane message iyoyo ndakamunyorera. Ndobvati okay baba, but ndozvadii ndozvatoitika. But mota yakatengwa cash.
Okay, so at that time I got a license.
No, look, it's okay. The license that
Okay. All right, let's go to the car then. You said you're getting cash, and obviously, as a person in business, you had your advices in investments. So can you take in a less costs and stuff? Then they went ahead and were getting a case. So what is the problems they are facing right now?
No, no problem. You know what people vanonyanya kuzotaura kuti Gilbert akapusa zvekuzodaro. That guy is smart. He's very, very smart. That was content.
Samota is shooting yes.
I don't know, there's nothing like that.
Okay, but
Mothatisa number blades, Nasi and the Motas Tengesa. And for your information, even after I left the role of the management, I think I'm more like a parent to them, which I strongly feel this was supposed to be our arrangement. Because right now we communicate almost on here and there, and I give them advice. And I try to guide them here and there. We're still doing their bookings when they are traveling, but not as before.
okay, you still help
Because
from a
it was like I'm handling I'm managing the brand, but now I'm no longer involved in what they do, who they talk to, what they're advertising, and all that. It's no longer. But when it comes now to life, like life in general, we are still communicating and we are in touch. Saka kudai kwakuchizoishwa panika ka friction. Handida vanhu vakaona pasisina here kana zvokuti vanhu vanombotaura vese.
Okay, so this issue yemota yekutengwa kwemota imi muchiti musatenga unotenga yakatongopera without any escalation or any big friction.
Yeah, no, that's not the only argument that I have with the couple, for your own information. There's a time I end up in UK. There's a time I end up in UK. Their trip to Cape Town. No, we would always have differences. I think even before the wedding, even during the time when we were preparing the wedding, we have a number of differences. But what I do, I was not dictating to them how to live their lives. Nangopa my advice.
Okay, and yeah, I think it's evident in any working relationship. But no more question, and at the end of the day, you have a resolution with the two pharmacies, But thank you for clarifying. The thing is, these issues that I take up coincidentally with Mimi Pamarava, then they come these things. So people will always connect the dots. But I think it's good that you have also clarified on your side. And are you open to taking any social media management roles?
And I will not manage any brand. At least what I can do, I can advise through my writings. And the Kanakuri Panama artists, my musicians, the comedy, I can be there, because for me helping, I think it's a calling. Do you know in 2003 I was working with some missionaries from America, and I shared with this lady Barbara. I got, Barbara, tell me something. Ndinokwasa kana ndakamira kana ndasandatenga mota, like you're in public pabasisto paper. Then you find out of 30-40 people vakamira, a beggar will just come direct to you. Kana turi kufamba mutown, then you get someone stuck. Saka ndaiva exposed to my situations which needs help. And inside me, honestly, from within, I just have got some spirit in no batsira. Saka ndakashare this missionary nchimubvunza zvikanzi I know what is happening with you. God has given you a spirit of giving.
Okay, well, that's interesting. And speaking of which, I think over the weekend, I want a headline in the Matinga album, Rafael Nandi, for $4,000 US cash. Is that true? Is that true?
Ndeda kuiverengira pastage, then King Solomon achibva anorega tozomavapira kuside. For Nandi, it's different. It's a different story. To me, I believe that I participated so massively in a career when she was starting, because the first song that put her on map, it was my song Mufudzi Wemombe. And do you know that after Mufudzi Wemombe, a week or a few days after we released the song, she sent me a message. Mukoma, I'm expelled from the band that I was working with. Is it because of the song? So in somewhere, I feel proud of a achievement. At least munhu ari kubudirira takatanga tese.
Wow, that's nice. There's something that I missed when I was discussing. Sorry, I'm gonna take you back to the Nyathi, okay?
Okay.
There was trending also issue which is on social media monetization yakupiswa saka manager wangonoti hapasisina mari vachibva vati ndakurova muboss. So social media inonyatsobhadhara, and what would be your advice to content creators that want to venture into this line?
No, social media inobhadhara. Facebook iri kubhadhara, YouTube iri kubhadhara. So people ngavari ukamona zvinoita mazimba asishuwa aina ndizoti chini. Iyo nyaya yemonetization zvayakanyangotsviridza muZimbabwe chetu, wakambozvona?
Yeah, I actually noticed it, and I was asking people. I actually wrote a post because I was like, no, Facebook, we are introducing the stories monetization. Hakuna anything to change, because I also manage social media pages, and there are people in South Africa, in the UK, in the US. Hapana any content creator and people in Zimbabwe are actually celebrating with Tafana and stuff. Anyway, you can go ahead.
Let me take you back zvakamboitika muZimbabwe. Kwadaonzona kuti mazimba handisi takaita sei. Pakamboita imwe time yaitengeswa zviuta. Unoziva zviuta?
Yeah, I remember kashiri kamwe so kana ma
aitengeswa $5 nemazai achitengeswa $1 or something like that. Saka zvakangotrenda kutonzi zviuta. Tikazviona zvakutotengeswa mabig supermarkets chaiwo zvinzi zviuta. Saka tine kamwe kamitiro katongoita kuti munhu wana akatrendisa chinhu chikangobatira chete inobva yaita a big story. So inini hangu I don't think there's anything that have changed. Vanhu vari kuita yavakuita pasocial media vachiona mari ngavaramba vachiita yavari.
Okay, so it's mostly like we don't really verify facts. Somebody just says something and we run with it.
Yes. Izvo so far ndikangoti madodido kwa ndikangoti another slang yandokwanisa kuita. Vanhu vanobva vatomhanya nayo. And inokwanisa kumhanywa nayo yotemwe concept isina realistic mukati. Then chotoita chinhu saka vanhu vanopedzisira vabelieve manje kuti zvitori iko zvinhu.
Okay, what would be your message actually to social media users who are just consuming everything? Because honestly, there are certain people who are not able to differentiate between reliable stories and things that are authentic, that are real. And people are consuming everything they see on social media. What would be, because I remember Panamdara Mwendas, Aradun's Alpha, and Aradun Chema for 2 hours. And 2 hours of battle with the Jala. Murgun's Mafa, Amana de Manager Chema G. What would be your message to people who consume content on social media?
No, I will say 2 things, right? Kuma ordinary citizens, just generally, I would say, guys, verify facts, right? Then kuma bloggers, kuvanhu vanobata makamera vari kutrenda nenyaya. Please, before you share a story, verify first. Kudai taimboti any blogger anenge aita spread out rumors dzisina chokwadi mukati, vanhu tose tombomu-unfollowa, because munhu akadaro kana uri wemajoke beta kuti uri wemajoke, but nyaya yekuzoshare information usina kuverify from the source kana usina chokwadi nazvo zvinomisleada vanhu, and then isusu vanhu ngaticheke mafacts. And chinozoitika ndechekuti nyaya ndakaona ndekuti munhu anoda kuti anzi ndini ndatanga kuzvitaura. Saka time yekunoverify mafacts anenge asina manje, kungoona chinhu chanofunga chatrenda unobva achiseculator achida kuti ave munhu wokutanga. Handizi kuti mazimba nyaya yekutanga takaiwana kuda kuita first hand information. Maiwe aiwa unonza munhu achianzi ndini ndakatanga kuzvinzwa kana kuti ndini ndakatanga kuposta. If anything happens in future, you'd find out kuti munhu anodzokera old post yake yakamboposta kunoverify kuti handini munhu wandakambozvitaura. So I don't know what's the fuss about being the first person to spread the news. Yeah, because unozopesera wakuposta usina kuverify. for the sake of people.
Yeah, I think the thing is ndikachiposta inini kasikatrenda page rangu rakukura because munhu wese akumhanya kupage rangu kuti there's a breaking story pa H Metro or there's a breaking story pa page raleko, that kind of thing.
But zvine mubayiro here kuti page rako rikure based on information isiri yechokwadi inokwanisa kudestroya upenyu hwevanhu. Right, tell me what people think right now if someone just pick up over akanda post rekuti Marambire ashaya, ndine vana, ndine mukadzi, ndine hama dzangu, someone can just have heart attack otokuwara. Ini zvozonzi notazoona kuti it's not true munhu yamupenyu. So inini hangu I think spreading news is a great responsibility. People, they need to think twice before they
think twice. So would you support the government, because in the government last week they announced that they want to introduce a bill to monitor social media and monitoring people who are spreading and sharing news? Would you support having a constitution and heavy penalties for these things?
Yeah, it's very important. Otherwise we can put order. Look, I think what happened, there was a transformation here. We used to live physical life at Nosangana one-on-one, and then only my radio, my TV, and I spread, my newspaper. But now we're in a digital world where anyone can post anything, and anyone is connected to the world. Saka tikasa regulator, woman tinokanganisa society. I think it's very important to regulate so that our society can be at least. Ndingi munombofamba kunyika dzakasiyana siyana. Azvigere kune dzimwe nyika ma regulations dzakaita sewo.
No, Aliko and their media laws generally, then there are also what they call GDPR, I think, especially Eastern Europe and the whole EU. The GDPR is a very offense, it's a very big offense. So if you commit it even by company, you can be fired for just leaking a name or somebody to somebody, So those laws, they exist in media, they exist in IT, my GDPRs and everything. So I think it's very important. Then
yes. No, you can proceed.
I wanted to ask you also, Kuti, are you keen? There was a recent case, DJ Ola, Oli 10 and stuff. Do you think that should be something also that should be looked at of what people say of others?
Ndakaona another video yakacirculate ya DJ Ola vachitaura a certain guy who was explaining kuti kana uri an interviewer, how do you handle when someone started to talk of, when someone started going off topic? So those principles and ethics dziriko, but for certain reasons vanhu vanokwanisa kudziignore zvavo. But it's not necessarily mean kuti hakuna ma-guidelines. Vanhu vakaita journalism, I think vanoziva. Right now in your podcast, ndikangenda kutaura zvinyadzi, there's a way yaunondidzora. Ndikangenda kuenda off topic, there's a way yaunondidzora. Then won't in line, because in this particular circumstance, you are in charge. I'm following your questions, I'm following your guidance. Saka ukazorega ndichibuda off topic, I think somewhere newo tinokushora kuti kwewarega ndichibuda off topic say.
Okay, so there's always, what I'm seeing is there's always that balance on striking on getting the story and getting the nuggets. Because when Ugasiamuna share that's because you want the nuggets, that will bring you traffic and attraction and the money.
The best writer quite a bit sensitive topic. Why? Because these are the people we know. And these are the people we live within the society, and the issue againda kumakoti already kano akuitwa. So maybe if we analyze and try to go about it again, tinenge takutoita above the courts. But what I can only say ndizvo zvokuti ngatingoregulatai zvatinoposta, so that we make sure kuti tiri kuposta nyaya dzakaita se nyaya dziri verified, dzine uchokwadi mukati.
No, I think that's a very important topic, and just to add to that as well, I think when we think of ourselves as those people we talk about, because there are certain times, even when I'm working with my guys, tobva pabuda chistori chechokwadi tonzi boys tochitenderedzera kunzi munhu wacho akachionesha anogona kuzviuraya boys ngatisiyane nazvo. So I think that
those are very good ethics. Those are very good ethics. I read the letter yakanyorwa naTrevor. I felt his pain. Ndiri munhu yaya ndisati ndapinda musocial media ndaisora vanhu vakawanda vanotuka vachiresponda vachinichiti why can't they just let it go? But look, do you know vanhu vakanzo kukutanhaura pasocial media kana sadza hauridyi?
mutaura senge mune personal experience. Makaitwa sei?
Pane imwe time social media yakambondigara Alec, yakatonyatsodigara zvokuti I felt it, and ndakatoona kuti slowly ndanga ndakutoposta with people in mind, and ndanda kutoenda off topic muzvinhu zvakawanda, then ndakazongoti it will not help kana ndikajoina the society yandaiti haisikuita zvinhu zvakanaka. So isusu ndakangozivesa admin papage, munhu oga oga atuka kana kutuka vamwe unongobhaniwa from the page, post yako yodeletiwa. Saka iwe unenge wakuona uri kumaterrace, next time hauchakwanisi kunyora. So I think that's the only way we can screen people on our page to make sure that tine vanhu vanoda kugara papage, because ndoona sekuti freedom iri pasocial media ndeyekuti kana munhu achiposta zvausingadya usamutuka, ingoita unfollow. Then unofollowa vanoita zvaunenge uchida.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, and also a topic to say that let's start interacting in a nicer way, because we are interacting with real humans. Celebrity, but they feel something.
No. It's not rather. Vanaona kuvatadzira, and vari kurana a certain narrative yavangopick from somewhere yotorana like ndeyechokwadi. Saka how many unosvika rini kuchiaddressa every issue pasocial media? No, hazvina kudaro. And I think mostly it's on us Zimbabweans. Someone akanyora chiti Hansi, you hardly get my insults from Matabeleland region, but ukauya kuMashonaland region zvinongori zvituko, ende ndakatonyatsokuona kuti ichokwadi. I was in Bulawayo yesterday. I then called Nyathi ndivati Nyathi kuno kubulawayo ndo kune ma-real fans ako, because I couldn't walk in the street. I think 4 out of 5 people vandaisangana navo vati no munotombosvika kuno, they were so happy, and ndibva ndazoona kuti vanhu ndivo chaicho varibo. Isusu kwedu kunoku handizi zvobva kupi.
I had a conversation with Joshua Maponga, I think 2 years ago, and he was saying it is when we are experiencing a period of social decay. People are angry with so many things in their lives. The economic hardships are getting on you. You have everything around you not going well, and that anger builds up for a very long time, to the extent that when you just see something, what you feel like is just attacking it.
Alec, you know what? That is actually a very lame excuse. And I want to chance on about social media. I would say that's very nonsensical. Apana zvakadaro. Munhu unongogara uchingova nemunhu wako. Iwe zvatinoti right, we are going through hardship. Saka toenda tichingorwa nevanhu mumastreets. Why tisinganditirwa nevanhu physically mumastreets? Saka pasocial media ndo pari easy kurwa, but physical mumastreets you not fight.
Maoko anenge achitorema, unongosingatogone kurwa wai.
Saka tisingari kutaipa.
It's easy to just attack.
Kana unoona nyaripo ndekuti vanhu vanotora advantage kuti I'm seated behind the keyboard and no one sees me, and most of them vanhu vatoshandisa nemaghost account. Saka ukaona munhu apinda pasocial media neghost account ka my intentions yake asi good zvachose atongovinga hondo munhu whether ari kudya achiguta kana the moment pazvinoya mumind mako kuti ndoda kuvhura ighost account ka zviri kutoreva kuti intention yako is not good. Zvafana ndopinda murumu ndakapfeka mask, even if vanokumbira vati mukuru tokumbira zvekubvise mask, chero mukava muchechi chandeni ndopinda ndakapfeka mask.
Okay, I think these guys are hearing it. Let's try also to regulate my behaviors, educate social media, and also knowing that the person at the end of their of of the post also have feelings. They hear, they feel pain, they see. So let's just try to be considerate. But anyways, I think thank you so much for this discussion on social media and also clarification you did about the Nyathi, and also taking us through your constructing journey and advising us on what to do in this year, 2025. Look forward also to be talking to you very soon. My big projects. We can also jump on because the goal of every Zimbabwean is we want to make it. Takatangira to -5. So yeah. But generational wealth is what we really want to create.
I'm working on introducing my one-on-one business seminars. Very soon. Last year in August. Is it August or September? So we are going to start in this year.
I remember it was September.
Before, I think soon after April.
Okay.
Yes, the only idea is one-on-one. Let us share my testimonies. Let us share practical ways kuti business was timbo yazombobvunza kuti bosi chiombe chinorwadza unozvati chii. 80% of people in Zimbabwe, ndingati 80 kana 70% vakambotangawo mabusiness avakanyura. Saka the main question ndekuti ari kumbonyura nei pamabusiness? Chiiko chacho chiri kunyazoitika kuti business iri zonzi radonha? It's very important for us to know what exactly is happening. Kuti business ringozonzi radonha chii. Well, my business seminars tichinyambobata nyaya idzi toona kuti saka tingakwanisa kuita sei kuti develop my sustainable businesses anoraramisa mhuri dzedu.
I think that would be a great initiative, and many people who are serious about life definitely would tune into it. Just like you did with the Shawane business seminar last year, I think this is the similar model you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, I was charging my 100.
Last year we were charging $20 and then $50 VIP. I'm actually even thinking of starting more like the Lions Den, Lions Den or Dragons Den, where people can come and pitch and we award them some working capital or starting capital. So we need to develop that. Then to that cheaper grants work never picture when picture my businesses.
Okay, well, that's quite a good initiative. Mr. Marambire, but thank you so much for this discussion. I really appreciate the insight that you shared. I'm sure people have also learned from it, as well as you clarified on all those things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. You have a good night.
Okay, cheers.
Okay.